let's start with this, girls. Thank you for coming, first of all. Today, I'm going to introduce you to our friend Camila. And you know already, Celia. And you know that I'm Anna language coach. I'm Anna Dominguez. And today we are going to read with Camila one of the scenes where her character appears. And her character is going to be Beth. She is going to be playing the role of Joe in this scene, but she is probably going to play the role of Amy in the theater play or in the production, you know, during the rehearsals we will be doing along this academic year. So welcome, girls, to the reading session. Next, by the way, let's say to the world that next 23rd of September, we start officially our group in Paseos. Okay, so you are welcome. This scene is called Beth is Helping Others. So let's start reading with these two girls. So can you start? Well, if you want, I can put in context a little bit. These girls have been helping the neighbors. So Beth has decided to go to visit the Hamels. And this is the moment where she's approaching their home.
Hamel.
The door is thrown aside, and Mrs. Hamel, carrying her baby, gives forth with a distraught torrent of German. And I'm going to explain two expressions. Gives forth means give away, and distraught is display, agitated, and says a lot of things in German. And you know that Beth doesn't know any German. So Beth is bewildered, which means confused, scared. She holds out her blackened potato. Is this what you want? So now, desperate to show her, Mrs. Hamel pulls Beth inside. Interior, hovel behind a carriage house. Day. So it's during the day. The Hamel children are ill. Their lips cracked and bloody. The 8-year-old girl sits up with a shriek. Shriek means a cry, a loud cry. Mrs. Hamel hands Beth her whimpering baby, which means that is crying but with a very weak sound because he is ill, and goes to her daughter. Beth looks at the infant's tiny, feverish face, its sunken, which means hundidos, frightened eyes, and bloody lips. Beth clutches, which means embrace, the baby to her helplessly. And Mrs. Hamel's stream of German goes on. So again, a stream of German means that a series of words in German. She's still talking in German. She doesn't understand. Beth doesn't understand German, but she can figure out that the mother is very agitated and very worried because the kids are ill. So let's start with the next part. Exterior, front garden of Orchard House, fall, late day. Arriving home, Joe peers means look, into the birdhouse post box. And I remind you that this is the post box that they were sharing with the neighbor. And finds a fragment pear inside. Pear is una pera, ¿vale? Smiling, Joe enters Orchard House. Interior, foyer, Orchid House, fall, late day. Colin, pear in hand, as she sorts the afternoon post. Sorts is kind of place the afternoon post that she has received. And so Joe goes.
Laurie's home. You must need money. We had a week's groceries on what the boy spends on billiards.
Okay, so let's explain this expression. She's trying to say that their neighbor Laurie, who we know is very rich, right? She's trying to say that what he spends in playing the billiard, which is el billar, they could eat for 1 week. That's what she's trying to say. Joe stops at an envelope that says, Mr., and this is important that you understand it, this Mr. Joseph March. She breaks out.
Jehoshaphat.
Let's explain, why did you say that?
Well, Jehoshaphat is like saying Jesus. It's like, it's a biblical character, I think.
Yes, it's a name from the Bible.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we're in the 19th century. So in the 19th century, people didn't say Jesus, they said Jehoshaphat.
Yeah. At least in this family. And also we know that, why is she so surprised? Why is she surprised?
Oh, yeah. Because in the letter, the letter was to Mr. Joseph March, but the name of Joe is Josephine, and obviously it's a girl. So
instead of Mr. should be
Mrs.
Miss.
Or Miss.
Exactly, okay. Yeah. This is a very common thing. Actually, this is something that I have been doing wrong in many videos that you can watch and see my mistakes. I have been saying Miss where I had to say Mrs. And Mrs., remember, is the women that are married, and the ones that are not married are called Miss. It's like como señora y señorita. Right? So what she is trying to say is that she should have been called Miss Josephine March. And why does he receive a letter with Mr. Joseph March?
Well, because she wrote in the newspaper, and women in the 19th century used a man's name to write in the newspaper, because Joe used it because she didn't want her mom to know that she was writing in the newspaper.
Yeah, and probably because maybe for the readers it would be more common to find and maybe more successful if you write with the name of a male. Not in these days, thank God. And so, interior family parlor, Orchid House, full late day. Joe rushes in, waving a 5-note, waving means moving, a 5-note and a spread eagle. Can you explain the spread eagle?
Well, basically, spread eagle is like a name of a magazine from
that time.
That time.
Yeah.
Meg, you won't believe it.
But Meg is not here. Beth slammed at her piano, which means collapsed, at her piano with her head pillowed on her arms, lift her face. So she's kind of like that over the piano or at the piano, and she lifts a little bit the head because she's very ill. So Joe March says,
I sold The Lost Duke of Gloucester. $5 whole. I'm an author. Although I might point out, I got 5 times as much for selling a hank of hair. Okay,
let's explain a hank of hair. A hank of hair is like saying to cut her hair and sell it. It was going to be better than just what she has received from writing a story. But well, she is very happy with that.
Beth?
So Beth is flushed and her eyes are glassy, which means como si se hubiera llorado, ¿no? With water, and red from weeping.
The Hamel baby is dead. I feel so very strange.
Yes, so she got probably something from the neighbors. Joe, interior Joe and Beth's room, Orchid House night. Amy tends to Beth, who shivers under many blankets, and shivers means, we all know that means que te está tiritando, ¿no? Meg comforts as Joe frantically pages through a homeopathic materia medica. So Joe is trying to find a solution in a book of homeopathic materia medica. This is interesting as well, because they are not using in this moment, they are using homeopathic. And this is very specific also from this movie in 1998. Meg March, she's burning up. I know you're going to be.
Sorry, in this part, I am Meg.
Yeah, and who is Meg? She's
She's
the oldest. Yeah, and she's the earth element with that as well.
She's burning up, but she says she is freezing. She has a terrible thirst, but she won't drink.
I think that's Arsenicum, but she looks more like Belladonna.
So as you can see, Joe's is still trying to find the description of what they see that her sister is suffering from. Hannah is the woman that is helping them in the house. Hannah appears at the door, still in her coat, frightened. Hannah, I see in the Hummels 2 children taken to Jesus, scarlet fever. At these words, Amy's eyes open in terror. Her hand, which had been kerosene, which means acariciando bed's coverlets, so the coverlet, I think is the I don't remember exactly what is a coverlet, but I probably is from the a blanket. I think it's a blanket, right? Or the coverlet is the thing that you put over the bed. Yeah, I think so. If not, leave a comment below. Involuntarily lifts. Okay, so she was like that. Kerosene were the place where bed was, and she lifted the hand. Hannah said, "You and Miss Joe won't be harmed. You had it when you were babies. But Miss Amy," look at Amy with fear, "we have to send you away." And this is the end of this scene. What do you think, girls? Heavy.
Yeah. Really heavy.
Let's comment on this.
Well, I think it's Beth in this scene. I think she's really kind and she's really helpful. But I feel like bad for her because now she's sick. And Amy, I feel a little bit bad for Amy because she has to be out of the house where they live in because, as she doesn't get the scarlet fever.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you think about this scene? Did you like it?
Yes, but this part, for my opinion, is very sad.
It is sad, in your opinion. So from my point of view, or in my opinion, yeah, this scene is hard.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yes.
It's very moving, right? Because she's being kind. She is like an NGO, we could say, helping everyone. And she's very sweet. And she's very innocent as well. And that's the beauty of Beth. Beth is the third also sister, is the third element, we could say, that connects with everyone. She always likes expressing her feelings through music. We know that she loves the music, and this is going to have an enormous impact on somebody that we know that lives in front of them. Who is the person that is going to resonate a lot with her being sick and is going to help her a lot and even send her something beautiful? Who is that man?
Laurie?
Mr. Laurie.
Oh, Mr.
The grandfather of Laurie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Why Mr. Grandfather, Mr. Grandfather, Mr. Laurie? Oh, Laurie is called Laurie something else. What is Laurie?
I don't know.
Lawrence something. Well,
Lawrence.
The grandfather of Laurie is the person that's going to resonate a lot with your story, because one daughter of him died as well. Did you know that?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
So that's why there is a click, there is a lot of resonation, or he resonates a lot with this information, with this situation of Bev being ill and being also a teenage that is going to die, and as her daughter did. And that's why before he discovered that she is ill, he sent her the piano that used to be played by her own daughter. So can you see the beautiful connection of how people resonate with your story? And that's why it's very emotional. If you watch the movie, the last version, it's beautiful when she's playing in that house that is immense and beautiful, and she's playing, you, Beth, are playing there, the piano, and the grandfather or the grandfather of Lori is listening to you from a corner. You don't see him, but he is emotional. He got very emotional because he's kind of having in his mind his own daughter that passed away years ago. And also I have to mention here something that not many people have experienced. For example, my grandmother, she did a career of the piano here in Madrid, and it happens that people that plays piano and plays some instruments, like you, for example, you play, what do you play?
I play the flute.
The flutes. And so you know that you have studios, right?
Yes.
A lot of studios that are always the same for everybody that is learning that flute or piano or any other instrument. You have certain studios, musical sheets that you really need to study. And so in that time, also there was a connection between people because they all knew the music that people were playing. You understand what I mean? Like if you play the music, the piano, and your neighbor played the piano, you were probably playing the same studio. So when you went to their house to play a little bit also and have a social connection with your neighbors, people knew the music that they were sharing. It was something kind of a connection between people through music as well. So that's why it's important in the last movie when Friedrich, the Bacher, no, Mr. Bacher, the teacher, the French teacher that Joe met in New York, asked for permission to play the piano, the same piano that was given by the grandfather of Lori. And when he starts playing, if you remember well, I think it's the same song that she was playing in the first time in the house of Lori. So you understand this? Yeah. It's like everybody that knew how to play the piano knew the same studios, more or less. It was something kind of the greatest hits, we could say, you know, Mozart, Beethoven. So they all knew and shared that. And is that happening to you as well? When you go and play the flutes in somebody's house, they can recognize the music? Do they?
Yeah. The pages and
with the music?
The music?
Yeah.
I collect
you collect them and you can recognize it when it's being played in a jazz session or in a piano or in other instrument. You can recognize the same song. Yes. And also, is there any specific studio for your instrument? Was the flute? Would you say?
The flute.
Oh, you were playing the flute. Oh,
yes. Yeah. The flute and when
you were a little, when I was little,
I played the piano
as well. It's true. This is also very interesting. And people that have this skill of playing an instrument, you are usually better at learning languages because you are usually better at taking the sound. Because your ear is being trained. Yeah. So you can see Here, Beth, you know, she plays the flute, and you know that Beth is the third element and is wind element. Very interesting. Everything fits. I'm very happy with you girls. So tell us the last question, and then we finish. Tell us 3 expressions between you and Celia, Camila. Tell us something that you have learned with this reading.
Okay. So bewildered.
Bewildered. That, by the way, it appears in some jazz song, very famous.
Oh.
So you will.
That means confused.
Confused. Yeah.
I mean, I already said it, but just for...
Yes, no, but it's for you to also learn, because if you are watching us, it's because you want to learn English. Okay.
A cricket.
Muy bien, cracked. Which means what?
That is broken.
Yeah, the lips were cracked. Vamos a decirlo bien, cracked. Esto es el famoso K con ED, que suena como una T, entonces cracked. And bloody, ¿no?
And
you?
I said it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So slumped at.
Slumped at. Ah, yeah, slumped. Again, es una P y una con ED, así que suena como una... Muy bien. Slumped at. Which means what? Collapsed. It's when Beth was like, oh, no? At the piano. Vale, bien. And any other? Whimpering. Whimpering is an adjective, right? Tell us, what does it mean?
That is cry.
Yeah, with a very weak sound.
Very interior.
Weak. It's like, sollozando, ¿vale? Sollozante, un niño sollozante, because he's ill, so he can't really cry like with a lot of energy. He's crying, but very, very weak, loud of cry, or very, very weak cry, we could say. Any other expression, girls?
Well, shriek.
Shriek.
That is more like an opposite of whimpering. Which means loud cry.
Exactly. And also kind of the tone, the pitch is very high. Like, es como un gritito, ¿vale? Como un grito también. O sea que es con un pitch, que hemos quedado con el tono, the pitch is high. Yeah.
Like that.
Billiards. The billiards, hemos quedado, what does it mean that?
Same.
It's a game, yeah? Is this sounds very similar to the Spanish word?
Yes.
It's a game that you play with the sticks and balls over a table with some kind of cloth, green usually, and the holes in the corners. So, vamos, billar de toda la vida. Va, fenómeno. What else?
May I add shivers? I mean, I love this word.
Shivers.
I don't know why. I love how it sounds.
You know why. Tell us why you love it.
Because I learned it from a song that is from Ed Sheeran. And it's called Shivers. So...
and can you sing it a little bit?
No.
Okay. Maybe in another comment.
Maybe I can write it down in the comments so you can see the name of the song and the artist, and you can play it in your house.
Fantastic. I really like that. Yes. And any other expression?
For example, left.
Yeah. Spread eagle. Spread eagle.
Is for a magazine?
Yes, it's usually, maybe it was a magazine or a newspaper that from that time. And it's very poetic because spread means desplegada y el eagle es una águila. Entonces, spread eagle es como esa literatura que va volando a las casas, ¿no? Because it's the magazine that she has collected from the post. ¿Vale? What else?
I don't know.
I think you have said many things already.
Yes.
I think it's fantastic. They are great. And I have to say also, next to 23rd, you are welcome to come and meet these ladies and I, and also Begoña, because she's also part of the theater group. And we are going to initiate definitely this group. So thank you, girls, for being here with me. I really like being with you.
Thanks to you for inviting us.
Yes. This is a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be together and studying this script. I think it's a fantastic project. So thank you, everyone. Please subscribe, say you like, and comment below. Bye.
Bye. ¿Así está bien?
Yo creo que está bien así, ¿no? ¿Te ves bien? Sí. Yo sé que sois más guapa de lo que se nos ve ahora mismo, porque no...
Sí, a mí me pasa un montón. Que yo me veo en el espejo, digo, me queda bien, y luego me hago una foto y no.
Efectivamente, no es lo mismo, no te hace justicia. La belleza es presencial.
Efectivamente.